Hello and welcome to Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. I'm your host, Janette Burke. Now, today, women have 1/3 of the wealth, but hardly any have any financial plan, which is kind of sad. So I brought in financial advisor from Assante Capital Management, Marylou Heenan, who is going to talk to us about this very problem and so much more. Welcome, Marylou.
Thank you, Janette.
Marylou, I understand you've had a very unique past and that you went through a big transition and you wanted to specialize in working with women as a financial advisor for the 40+ market. Could you please tell me a little bit about your transition and why you chose to work with women in the 40s and beyond?
Definitely. I had been a businesswoman myself for many years, and along the way I became an investor. And investing for several years put me in a position where I could make a change in my career. I had some money behind me and I was able to do that. And when I made that change, I thought, in choosing a second career, how valuable it would be to share that experience with other women. So I'm divorced myself. I've been through a lot of changes. I've got a daughter I had to put through university, and yet I was able to do all of that and come out fine. So I wanted to be able to share that with other women.
That's very, very admirable. Now, as I said at the top when I introduced the segment, 1/3 of women own the wealth today. Yet, and I'm quoting an American standard here, North American standard, 87% of women would like to have an advisor, but only 17% actually do. That's staggering.
Right.
So what is the reason for this? How do you account for this?
Well, I think there's a few reasons. I think a lot of women are embarrassed because they don't feel they understand investing well. So they're reluctant to approach an advisor, especially if that advisor is a man. They may feel a little intimidated by their lack of knowledge. And it's certainly not their own fault that they don't have that knowledge, because our school system really doesn't prepare us at all with any kind of financial literacy. So there's a big gap there. But also, some women who have approached men advisors also feel that they get turned down if their portfolio is not big enough. So they're really not sure where to go for advice.
Another thing that I find a bit astonishing is that even though so many women are earning good money today, many fear that they will wind up bag ladies on the street. Where is this fear from, and what can you do to combat it?
Right. So they say that 50% of women are afraid that they're going to end up eating cat food, or as you said, as a bag lady on the street. And that's certainly not going to happen. But again, I'm sure there's a few different reasons for it. So I think for a lot of women, let's say of my age, they grew up with mothers who didn't work. And so, probably in our DNA, we're just not used to being in that role yet and being our sole provider. So women who are divorced obviously have to look after themselves, but even if they're still married, they think they're probably going to outlive their husbands, and they're concerned about how they're going to look after themselves in their later years. So as an advisor, what I can do is not only reassure them, but also help them plan for their lifespan to have enough wealth to look after themselves during all that time.
And is there also potentially a fear that the government is not going to continue providing old age pension, particularly for Generation X and Y, as the baby boomers are dying off?
Well, there could be a fear out there. I don't think it's justified, because we know even in Ontario the government is looking at bringing in another pension plan to make sure that people are well looked after. But there have been changes in the CPP and the OAS, and now you're going to be able to claim it later in life. But women are worriers, and we worry about other people as well as ourselves. So I think it's normal to have some concern, and I think it's a good thing to be concerned about how you're going to do in your retirement in your golden years, but you shouldn't be overly worried about it.
And also, we are choosing to work later years. People are not retiring at 65 anymore, I don't know whether that's because they can't or they don't want to, or a combination. But yeah, I think, like you say, we worry about a lot of things that in the long run we really don't need to be so worried about. Do you think women are not really that interested in taking control of their own finances?
I don't think so. Again, I would say I think there's some fear because of a lack of knowledge, and certainly there are, unfortunately, every once in a while in the media you hear stories of people who have done investors out of their money. So again, it is good to be a little bit fearful.
The Bernie Madoffs of the world?
Yes, those kind of cases, right?
Yeah,
so
that's scary.
You've got to be very careful, and you've got to make sure that if you're going to work with an advisor, that he or she is registered with the Securities Commission in your province and is working for a legitimate company. And I think the old adage of if it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't true, right? So you're not going to make millions of dollars overnight. It's kind of a slow, steady process in building up your wealth.
And what do you think some of the biggest mistakes women are making when it comes to financial or taking the approach with the investment strategies? What are some of the biggest mistakes they're making, and can you help them from things like accumulating debt or not having a financial plan? Because I personally find that women in business are notorious for using their own capital to fund the business as opposed to looking for outside help from banks and from grants and this sort of thing. So can you comment a little on that, please?
So mistakes that people make. So I think the adage is out there that you should pay yourself first, and that is true for men and for women. So from a starting point is we should all spend less than we earn.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's a hard one, but it all starts there, right? You can't be investing money if you're not saving any money. So you've got to figure out what's your monthly income, what are your monthly expenses, and you've got to find a way for there to be some left over for you to be putting aside and then putting into safe investments so that they can grow.
I don't know that the average Canadian is doing that anymore with, the estimated $30,000 debt load that most Canadians are carrying, and that's a minimum. And the fact that we live in a North American society, which is all based on have, and don't wait for tomorrow, live for today, and let's take those vacations, and let's do this, and let's do that. It is true about the saving and the spending. It's difficult.
It is true, and people who do save are really being sacrificed these days because the interest rates are so low. So you've got the combination of the interest rates are low, that encourages people to borrow more money, so they get into more debt. And at the same time, if they put their money in the bank, they're only getting 1% interest on it. So it's not really a motivation to save. Yet the world economy, the way it is right now, the big powers want interest rates to be low so that their economies can grow. So that's the climate that we're in right now.
It is, and we see changing currencies like the US dollar against the Canadian dollar all the time. So let's get down to the nitty-gritties if we might, because we're running a bit short on time. What exactly do you do for women in terms of helping them create a financial strategy?
So depending where the women are at, so if they're starting out to invest, one of the things I do is provide them with education. So I do webinars and seminars that explain the basics of investing so that they're familiar with the different terms, the plans, the RESPs and the TFSAs and so on, as well as what do you put inside those plans, stocks or bonds or mutual funds. So education is one of the things. I can also offer people who have portfolios a no obligation review of their portfolio to see if I think they can do better, or if they're already in good hands. So those are both ways that we start out in an initial conversation. Beyond that, what my clients have told me is very helpful is that we set specific financial goals. So it's different to say I want to save money in general than to say I would like to save some money so that I can give my son or my daughter some money towards their purchase of their condo in 5 years. That's a very specific goal. And then we can figure out how much money you need to put aside, what kind of investment is the best suited for it, so that we're going to meet that goal.
Now, you just said one of the key components of the services you provide is helping women understand their investing options and just understanding investing. And you do that through seminars and webinars. And you actually have 2 coming up, one
right.
on April 14th and one on April 15th.
That's right.
Could you please tell us about both?
Yes.
And by that I mean, like, tell us what the program's about. How do we register? Where is it going to be held? Give me everything.
Sure. So the seminar is on April 14th at our office at Yorkdale in Toronto.
Yorkdale Mall?
Yorkdale Mall. It's at 6:30 in the evening, from 6:30 till 8.
And that's on the 15th.
That's on the 14th. On
This is
Tuesday
the
the
actual
14th.
seminar.
Yes, this is a seminar. I can welcome about 8 people there at that seminar. And the following day I have a webinar, which you take from your computer, from your comfort of your own home or office, the same time, 6:30 to 8 in the evening, and it is unlimited, basically. I don't have to limit it to 8 people because everyone is joining through their computer. The content is the same for both. You learn about the different investment plans, you learn what are dividends, what are mutual funds, how advisors get paid, and what your advisor should be doing for you, which is very important to know.
Yes, that is very important to know. Okay, so just a few little housekeeping things before we sign off. What's your most favorite financial topic to speak about?
I think risk, I would have to say, because people think of risk as something scary. But there's different kinds of risk. So there's actually the risk that you might not be doing enough. So a lot of people do keep their money in bank accounts and GICs, and their real risk is that their money is not growing as fast as inflation. So while they think it's safe, the value of it is actually going down every year, and that's a big risk.
Oh, that sounds,
Yeah, you'd think you're
something
safe,
we really have
right?
to look at, yes.
Yeah. And then for older people, they have a different kind of risk in the sense that they don't have as long to have their investments grow, so they have to be more careful about how much risk they take, but yet they can still take some risk as long as it's well planned and they provide for their immediate needs.
All right, so we're going to sum up now, and I'd like to ask you if you could just give one financial, I want to call it wisdom or nugget, to our viewing audience today. What would it be and why?
I would probably go back to that, to looking at the risk and seeing, are you doing enough? Are you taking enough risk in relation to your age? Are you taking too much risk in relation to your age? And someone like myself can certainly give people good advice when it comes to that.
Okay, so we are going to talk now a little bit about this amazing giveaway you have. And I have some to show. So I'm going to pull it out and put it on the camera. We can hold it together. Hold it together. So this is an amazing gift basket filled with chocolates and various goodies. Perfect time to be giving this away at Easter or even for Passover for our Jewish friends. And it doesn't just come with this beautiful array of chocolates.
No.
And they're expensive chocolates. We're talking Godiva and Ferrero Rocher and the good stuff. It comes with something I think every woman wants, and especially if she wants to save money. It's a $100 gift card to any store or restaurant in Yorkdale Mall. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've been to Yorkdale Mall lately, there's lots of beautiful high-end things to buy. And, that mall's just become unbelievable lately. And $100 is a nice thing to have, especially at this time of year with this gorgeous gift basket.
Yeah.
Now, if you would like to claim this gorgeous gift basket along with this $100 card, which is what, a spending card at Yorkdale Shopping Center, you need to go to my website, which is www.Janette, JANETTEBURKE.com. And at the very top, it will show you in white, enter to win great giveaways. You need to click on that and sign up, put your name in, put your contact information, and one of you lucky viewers out there is going to get this prize, which Marylou will be giving to you. So that'll be awesome. And I really hope one of you claims it and uses it, because it's a great gift. Okay, so now, Marylou, in closing, please tell us how we can get in touch with you and your website.
Yes, my website is www.marylouheenan.com, MarylouHeenan.com. And there you can find out more information about how to contact me, and you can also sign up for my blog. I write a blog for entrepreneurs where I give some business advice as well as investing advice. And you'll find that at justgoodadvice.ca.
Perfect. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you. Investing is a huge thing for women, and you know, there are no right or wrong answers. So if you are embarrassed, don't be. Get the help you need for the work that you're doing today that will pay for your tomorrow. Until next time, continue to be fabulous. This is Janette Burke signing off. For Janette's I'm Every Woman TV, please like, share, and comment on all our posts, on all our social media posts, and share us with your family and your friends. #Janette's I'm Every Woman TV.